Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tribunal of Degree, where we talk about all things Power Rangers, including the actors that played them. My name is Brandon.
My name is Lena.
And my name is Will.
Ooh, somebody got something in their throat right now.
Yeah.
Come on. Thinking about Pete Davidson. Anyway.
Well, I mean, he's thinking about that really hot scene we talked about earlier.
So yes, we had a whole conversation before the show that you guys are not privy to. So so welcome to the show. And
welcome back. We're doing so well. We're like, what the third, fourth episode into the new year, still going strong.
Still going strong, and we hopefully will keep going as strong as we can.
You know what? I'm sure we will, because we've been doing pretty well in figuring it out, working it out.
Yes.
So
yes.
we will indeed. And you know what? Like, we talked about this before the show, but y'all, like, I cannot believe PMC is happening again this year. Wait, did not happen last year? Am I going crazy? Or is it like...
Well, it's bi-yearly, so it makes sense.
Right, because last year was for the one that we skipped the year before, right?
Remember, yeah, because I think we skipped 20 because it was supposed to happen in 2020. We skipped 2020, and then of course 2021 was an off year, and then we had it in 2022, and then now they went back to bi-yearly. So yeah, it's on track. 2024.
Oh wait, so it didn't happen last year, right?
Holy. Yeah, it didn't happen 2023. It happened 2022.
Wow, where did the time go?
Right, time is like pew!
Damn.
Just going.
Okay. Well, all right. So PMC year, we're talking about that. We're hoping to make it happen. So we shall see.
Right. And just to let y'all know, just to make you aware, PMC will be happening August the 23rd through the 25th. So make sure you get those tickets, because of course you get to see your favorite Ranger people. You get to see, also some Toku people, some Japanese actors are going to be there as well.
I know, like, I'm not going to lie, like as we're talking, I'm like genuinely like, holy crap, I have not been to a Ranger convention in like forever. Forever. So this will be like the first time that I'm technically seeing like all the Rangers again, like in a long time.
Right. No, like it's gonna be. I think it should be interesting this year because there's gonna be a lot of brand new people for sure. Some which I'm kind of nervous about, but for the most part, like I'm actually very excited because they have the guy who played Red Turbo from Turbo Ranger, a series way before Zyuranger came out. And he also that guy also sung a lot of theme songs too. Actually, I think he sung the theme song for his season. So that would be cool to see him. They also have the guy who played O-Red for O-Ranger, which was Power Ranger Zeo for us. He's going to be there, and also Gokaiger actors are going to be there as well, Red and Pink. So I think Red came in 2022, I want to say. He came then, but this is going to be the first time Pink is coming. So Pink is going to have her first appearance. That's the one I'm nervous about, because if you remember, Gokaiger Aim, Gokai Pink, was more of the more demure, prissy, princess wearing outfit, pirate girl. And sometimes Toku fans can be a little weird. They can be a little gross towards the women. So I'm a little nervous for her. Because I'm sorry, some of those fans can be a little gross. So just a little nervous about that. But hopefully it's all good. But yes, like I said, that's the perfect time, if you can, to come and see all of your favorite people. Also, you get to see, I know I'll be there. and the other two, you guys are also trying to make your plans and provisions to be there as well.
Yes. I mean, like,
But
there's enough notice
yes.
here, so I don't see why. I'm already looking to daycare for my dogs, and like, we'll get it. We'll get it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, because it'd be cool for like Tribunal of the Grid to like all be there at the
Finally
same time.
get
That
that.
would right, like finally be all there, all
Right?
at once.
All at once.
Like
Like, that would be so freaking cool.
that would be dope. So hopefully this is the year. This is the year that this happens. If not, that's all right too. But hopefully this is the year.
Hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah, like I hope so, because we're
Yeah.
not getting any younger, and we just never know, right? We just never know where life could take us. Like, what if
Yeah.
future plans doesn't allow us to like travel in a couple years from now? Like, so hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully.
exactly. So, hopefully this is the year that we are, going to be together and we can just have a good time. But speaking of having a good time, we are definitely going to have a good time talking about the stuff that we need to talk about on today. So we have
Are we gonna have
quite some. You say what?
I said, are we really gonna have a good time?
Listen. Let me tell you something. I have just a few things just one thing I want to get off my chest before we dive in. Before we dive into the show.
Okay.
But I think we do have some good things to talk about. I mean, like we are going to be talking about Boom Boonger. And me basically ripping that shit apart, and which is fun for me. And we're gonna be talking about Cosmic Fury. So I think, listen, one thing I'm gonna have fun ripping apart, and the other one I'm gonna have fun talking about. So I think it's gonna be a fun show. I think it'll be fun. Maybe not.
We will see. It may only get us more angry, or we will actually have fun. I mean,
like get us more angry. Listen,
we will see.
We will see, right? But no. So yes, let's go ahead and get the church announcements out the way first, right? So, as I'm pretty sure many of you who are on Twitter, you pretty much have already been privy to the mess that happened over the weekend. By the way, this is the weekend of the weekend of February the 11th. So, if you're on Twitter, you already know what has been happening over the past few days. Not throwing out any names or anything like that, because that's not important. But basically,
that is such a lie. Names are so important, but we're not.
Names are not important right now. Listen, we ain't trying to start no beef. We ain't trying to start no smoke. But at the same time,
I'm just saying it already started. It wasn't caused by us.
Listen. If the people know what's going on, they know what's going on. They know. But there's some foolishness going on Twitter between two content creators. I'm not going to get into who's right, who's wrong. We ain't getting into that. Even though I know for a fact who's wrong. But that's my opinion, even though I feel like my opinion is actually fact, because we have the fact to support it. But, listen, we ain't diving into that. No, we're not doing that. But what I will say, the thing I do want to talk about in today's church announcements is this thing that we have going on in this community, where we like to put people that we like on pedestals and act like their shit don't be stinking or their shit can't stink. And just automatically have this undying, unwavering loyalty to these people. Like they can't make mistakes. Like they can't be in the wrong. And me personally, I think that is a recipe for disaster. Like, that is one of the worst things that you could possibly ever do, is to try to hold somebody in such high esteem that it's like, oh, I'm just automatically going to go with them. And based off of prior knowledge of the other person, they're in the wrong. And like I've seen with so many people this weekend, many people didn't even know how it even started. Many people don't even know how it started. So I guess with the point of this church announcement is
It's a pause for me.
because there was more to that. Like there was more on the other side of that, but I had to choose my words carefully because there was more. But but the point that I'm making on this is simply, y'all, stop being so like jaded by other people and just being like automatically, oh, I think that because this, that, and the third, automatically this person is wrong or whatever, without looking at the facts of what happened. Because a lot of times, and also too, the amount of people that jumped into the middle of this thing just to give their own personal opinions or their own personal accounts of what happened and what they believe just because of what that other person says or whatever have you. It's just like, first of all, it should have never gotten to where it got to. It should have never blew up this big. Honestly, that's first and foremost out the gate. It should have never became as big as it did. Shouldn't have, because first of all, the initial post that started the whole thing should have never happened. It should have never happened. And if it never happened, the other person wouldn't have had a reason to comment. So what I don't like is the dog whistling and the hound sicking and tearing down of people that just because this one person don't like, now all of a sudden, or this one person had an issue with, now all of a sudden we're just pouncing on that person and just shredding them up and just like tearing them apart. It's like, why are we doing this? Why are we so quick to tear people apart and then turn around and say, well, that's not the way the Power Ranger community is. That person shouldn't represent the community. They should be better. They should do better. But yet and still actively participate in the tearing down of that person, especially when it didn't call for that. It didn't call for that. This situation did not call for the active tearing down that many of you all have done to this one person in this community this past weekend. It should have never happened. That shouldn't have happened. Now, granted, don't get me wrong. Like, do many people have an issue with this person? Yes. I personally don't know the guy. I don't know him. I don't know neither one of them, to be truthfully honest with you. I don't care. Like, I don't know them. I don't care to know them. It's just, it is what it is. I don't know these people. But what I will say, outside looking in and watching how everybody just pounced on one person because of what somebody else said about that person, and just going off of their own prior encounters with this person, with said person, which automatically made them go, yeah, I'm gonna jump on this person's side. And also too, he gives all the information that I want to hear. So yeah, I'm gonna believe him. It's like, really? Really? So we're just gonna just bypass, a whole bunch of steps. We're just gonna go from instead of going A, B, C, D, we're just gonna go straight to G. And it's like, I know I'm talking around the bush. I know I am. But these are just my own personal opinions on this. I don't want to stir the pot more than what had already been stirred. But like I said, the church announcement is not to tear down or try to, point fingers at who's wrong and this, that, and the third. But it is to call awareness and to say, we all got to do better. We all got to do better. Every last one of you who participated in this tearing down this past weekend, do better. Do better. Do better. And for the people who are out here calling for, that content creator to be canceled and all this stuff, cancel him and do better. Do better. Because the main people who are calling for someone being canceled, your shit stink just like anybody else. Actually, your shit is pungent. Don't be out here calling for nobody to be canceled when they ain't did they ain't did nothing. Nothing that requires this kind of attention and this kind of tearing down. It didn't call for that. Now, what happened with a certain other person that was in our community who is no longer here, they needed to be exiled. They needed to be gotten rid of because they were participating in things that was wild, shall I say. You know what I'm saying? Like they were actively posting some stuff that they shouldn't have been doing, especially when they had children following their content and literally actively being on their pages. There should have been no reason why we saw a freaking humongous dildo on the page that is also being advertised to children.
No, not the dildo.
Oh, honey, when I seen that thing for myself, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Hold on. Why is that there? You know what I'm saying? And granted, like that said content creator, they deserve to be attacked and like, hey, they deserve to be ridiculed. They deserve to be like, hey, call attention to this. This is bad. Bad guy over here. He's over here posting up like porn and stuff, and he have children following his page. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Call that stuff out because you're endangering kids, right? Call that stuff out. But literally trying to call the cancellation of somebody just because you claim, oh, they're always so negative. So expressing grievances is bad now? Because a lot of y'all do this on the daily. Didn't a lot of y'all just do this couple of last year? Talking about, oh, the brand is dying, the brand is dying, the brand is dead, the brand is dead. Meanwhile, we got comics coming out every other month, but the brand is dead, the brand is dead. Like, come on, y'all. Like, you're doing too much. Like, you're doing a little too much. So I say all of that to say, like I said, as a community, we just all need to do better. Okay? We just need to do better. And just try to, at this point, I understand that there's definitely going to be some lingering feelings like this week and going forward. There's going to be some lingering feelings. But at the end of the day, we all need to just do a lot better with the selective and fake outrage that we out here pouring out. Like, just because you got already past issues with somebody, or you just don't like this person because of X, Y, and Z reason, but you like this person over here, that's not your place and that's not your time to jump in the middle of something just to give your own points of view on it. That ain't got nothing to do with you. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Like, I understand everybody want to have their feelings and their voices heard, but sometimes it's just best to sit out. It's just best to sit out and be quiet. Especially if you have no idea what's going on, which I saw a lot of. I saw a lot of it. So it's just like, just mind your business. If they got something going on over here, let them have that over there. Let them have that. Okay? But this whole thing of just like, hey, I'm gonna jump on this because I don't like that person over there, but I like him, so I'm gonna be on his side. Like that's weird. That's weird. Stop it. Okay. Thanks. That's all I needed to say. So that concludes that church announcement for today. And moving right along.
Oh my God. Speaking of announcement, I would like to add that I've been watching American Horror Story. And I know. We're getting there. I know what you're thinking. But I'm not talking about that season. But anyways, I saw a season with the aliens in it. I can't remember what it's actually called. But we got our own very own yellow, Ninja Steel Ranger? Nico, what's his last name?
Nico Greetham.
Yes. So he's in that season. If y'all didn't know, he's in American Horror Story and American Horror Stories. So yeah, check him out on there. But anyways, I was watching it. And let me just tell you, this man being pregnant,
yes,
giving birth, and then having his baby eat his face.
That was crazy.
First of all,
wait, we talked about that when it aired.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
No, we talked about it privately. We never talked about it on air.
You sure?
Maybe. I don't know now.
It's been a while.
I know. Yeah, it has been a while.
No,
I know we talked about it.
3 years.
Yeah, I know we talked about it. I just don't know if we ever actually. No, I don't think we talked about it on air just because Ranger Thing is supposed to be my thing, and it's been a while since we've actually done an episode like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Life. But yeah, no, it's been a while since we've done one of those segments. And so I want to say, you know what, guys, if we did talk about it, let us know. If we didn't, you know what? Or if you want to hear it again, who cares? We're here again.
It was double feature. Double feature.
Yeah, because
yeah, you want to go?
Yeah, right. Because I do remember us having this conversation also, but I don't know if it was ever actually because I didn't see the season then, so I know for sure I didn't talk about it, but I recall the conversation that Nico was in the American Horror Story, and I know we talked about him being in the season. He's actually in a few more episodes, a few more so American Horror Stories is a series of collective stories, and every episode is a different episode, right? And I know he was in this one where he's with Bella Thorne, where they so basically the story goes, this beautiful girl is being followed home by someone in a Jeep, and they keep flashing her constantly, and then they ram into the back of her car a couple times to get her attention, right? So she ends up escaping this person who she thinks is trying to kill her. And she makes it home and she's fine. But then things starts to happen and she's concerned that this person actually followed her home, right? And so, what have you. But then so basically when she left and she got followed by this guy, she was leaving a club. And her husband have an open relationship. So she goes back to the club very often to, intermingle, have some fun nights, and then goes home, right? What ended up happening was she found the car that was following her that night that kept ramming into her, and she followed him home. And the person that she followed home was Nico's character. And they end up meeting face to face at some point because she goes into his home and she's trying to find some evidence that proves that he's the guy that followed her. But he comes out of the shower and ends up catching her in his home. And he's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, wait, you're the girl that I tried to save the other night, etc. Obviously you made out okay. And he was saying yeah, he's been hearing stories about a serial killer who basically tracks down people and then kill them in their Jeep, right? So she's like, you know what, thank you so much. Like how can I ever repay you? So she's, she gets all flirty because it's Bella Thorne, and plot twist. She pulls out a needle and jabs him in the neck.
The fuck?
Right? Turns out she is the serial killer, not him.
Ah.
My poor guy ends up dying because she locked him up in her basement and she was about to torture him, but then got bored and just put an axe to his head and walked away.
Oh my God.
Ew.
Yep.
He died both times he was a part of that.
He died like 3 times. Because that's only one of the story in the American Horror Stories.
Wow.
The second one is it's okay. So have you guys heard of like the Hype House or like what have you? Like like the Hype House, the like those content creating houses where they get together, they make content all day, and then like they live in this house and obviously sponsor and everything like that. I know the Hype House is one of the main ones that I know about. I'm sure there was a couple more other houses. I just don't know about it. And I've heard about them in passing. But anyways, the Hype House is the one I most remember because they also had like a Netflix show where Nikki Dragon is in it. I'm like, who's Nika? I meant to say Nikki Dragon, and then I obviously was talking about Nico also. Anyways, this episode opens up with these 4 boys from what I call the Hype House, but it's not the Hype House. Whatever it is, I don't know, nor do I care. For this storytelling, we're gonna call it the Hype House. Nico's character is one of those Hype House dudes. Like he's making content. There's 4, I think there's 4 or 5 guys. There's the camera guy, and obviously there's like the sweetheart, the player, they all have their own stupid names, kind of like the boy bands or whatever you call them. So it starts out with them trying to get to 5 million followers online, and they heard about this bridge where around the holidays, people, they take a leap off of it for whatever reason. Not that we encourage this, not that we, like, please get help if you ever feel this way. Call any hotlines, I don't know any, but during this, so in this show, this is the bridge known for people to take a leap. So these guys decide to camp out underneath the bridge in hopes that they'll catch somebody, take a leap. And they do. And these dumbasses end up filming it and loading it online. So
Jesus.
Exactly. The camera guy's like, I don't think we should do this. Like, I don't think this is a great idea. But because he's only the camera guy, he's not really in front of the screen, his vote doesn't count. So after they upload this video, obviously people are hating them because they're like, what the actual fuck? Like, what are you doing? This is sick. This is like, they start getting death threat. They start, getting all the things. So their viewership and, like their subscribership starts to sink. And these guys thought it'd be a great idea to kind of like change up their content. So apparently their next content was to try to change it around by being gay. Because apparently everyone loves gay people. Like that was,
what?
That was their thing. It was like they would do like suggestive stuff and be like, no homo. And so they would like go work out in really tiny crop t-shirts and be like, oh, I love the way you lift. No homo. Like that was it was so weird. It was so cringy. Like they'll be like in a hot tub together. He's like, oh, I like the way those, like, I'm making this up. I don't actually, like, this didn't actually happen. But they'll be like, oh my God, I love the way those trunks, wrap around you. No homo. So they would do a bunch of random shit like that and just be like, no homo at the very end. And that obviously didn't help save their viewership or their subscribership, right? Because people are just kind of like, so now you're gay and now you're making fun of gay people? Like, what? That not okay with us. First you filmed this and now you've sunk to this. So they're like, okay, crap, it's not working anymore. We got to go back. Like, they're like, let's think. How can we do this? So they decided that they're going to go back to their old school way where they prank people, like they do stupid shit. So they decide to take a trip down to their local mall and they decide to harass Santa Claus, basically. And before they got to see Santa Claus, they were harassing the female elf. Okay. And after harassing the female elf, an actual tiny person comes out to help his coworker. And that didn't help his case because he was actually dressed like an elf and he was tiny. So you can only imagine where the jokes went, right? Because then it turned into a situation is like, you know, like, oh my God, are you guys like an item? Like, oh, you're, you know, like you're so small, like whatever, right? So they push past the two elves, they get to Santa, and now they're doing stupid stuff on Santa, like Nico's character's twerking on Santa, like they're just doing
Not
all the
twerking on
crazy.
Santa.
Yeah, twerking on Santa. So Santa gets pissed, and Santa slaps Nico to the ground, like slaps him to the ground, okay? So Nico's like, so then they got up and then they ran out and they're like, okay, like, you know, haha, so funny. They ran off, they uploaded it. And of course, now they're getting more hate because now they're being like, oh, now it's okay to hit on people and harass people in public? Like, what? So, you know, like, so they went from like filming the jumper to filming like the no homo content to like harassing females and tiny people.
It just feels like they should just go away. Like,
right,
just quit.
exactly, right?
I'm questioning why the audience now has morals when they were watching them film people committing suicide.
Right.
What?
Right? Like,
Oh, child.
yeah, so it, you know, so like, you know, like here we're at. So they're back at the house. They're about to lose their house because obviously everything's just sinking for them, right? And they get a phone call. And the phone call is from the police / detective. I lost track of who's what. And they're like, hey, listen, like, were you guys at the mall today? And obviously they're like, no, yeah, no. And she's like, no, don't worry. Like, we don't care about the stupid prank you pull. We are calling because we need to ask you about a suspect, right? And we need to come down for like a statement. Like, if you could do that, blah, blah, blah. So they're like, okay, yeah, whatever. Before they got to that point, we have a murder we have a killer on the loose. And he makes his way to the, you know, the hype house. And if you guys haven't guessed it yet, the killer is Santa Claus. He's dressed up in Santa Claus suit.
Wow.
How he even got the suit was he actually killed a real Santa Claus, like a real mall Santa, took his suit and sliced him up and left him in a present box for the police to find. So the police realized that like Santa Claus is not really Santa Claus. That's why they're really calling the boys, because like they suspect that they came in contact with the killer and they want to find out more information about this person, right? However, Santa Claus is now at the hype house. And Santa Claus did not like what they did to him earlier. So what did Santa Claus do? He took them out one by one. And he cut all up their limbs and used their limbs to decorate the tree. And Nico's head was the treetop.
What the fuck?
Yup.
Wow.
Yup. And when I say that he decorated the trees, I'm being pleasant. I'm not gonna tell you what it is because it's glory. It's very.
I could
glory.
see intestines as garland.
We're not gonna go there, Will. No. Anyways, moving right along. So that concludes my little segment of American Horror Story, American Horror Stories with Nico. What's his last name again?
Greetham.
There we go. So yes, he dies 3 times by my count on American Horror Story. I'm sure if I see him again, he'll probably die again. Just saying.
Maybe they'll make it up to him if he makes another punch.
I think I'm not gonna lie, like the least glory death was the alien one.
Oh my god, that was pretty gory.
Yep, that was the least glory. So that gives you any idea. That is what I witnessed. So yes. So everyone, you know, Welcome back to another segment of Ranger Things and Ranger Things, and it features Yellow Ninja Steel Ranger in American Horror Stories. Go check it out, huh?
As he constantly keeps dying over and
Right?
over and over again.
Like the last, I would say, like the stories that I'm telling you, those were the how I would rate his death. The most like least glorified one to the second to the third. The third one, the Christmas tree, was the most glorified one.
Sheesh.
Yeah. By the way, I left
because
out
I just saw like a picture of it, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
You
Like,
Googled it. Oh no.
I did because I'm just like, I need to see this. Like, what? Like, I need to see this.
What did you type in?
Just like Nico Greetham Christmas tree, and I just literally see the picture of him like with his head on the freaking tree. I'm just like, okay.
Oh my
no.
God. Yeah. I actually watched that episode during the Christmas holidays, and I was like, yep, I know what I'm talking about from one of my first segment back. Cause
wow.
Is this.
So that's the part that you chose. It's like, I'm gonna watch American Horror Story and just watch people die.
Pretty much, I find out like, and this could be an advice to you or not, like totally however you want to take it's up to you. I find that when I'm stressed out, or like scary stuff makes me less stressed because I'm too focused on the other stuff, if that makes sense. So I'm not thinking about my own personal life and what I'm stressed about. I'm more focused on the fact that someone just got cut up.
Horror films stress me out. I enjoy them, but I have so much anxiety when I watch.
I go through phases. I'm not gonna lie. I do watch a lot of it, but I go through phases. And then I'll go through phases where I watch like, something like Superstore or like Blockbuster, something like Brooklyn Nine-Nine or whatever for a while. And then I'll go back to them. But I wanted to finish all 3 segments so far on Nico, so that way I can talk about it. I don't know if he gets featured on any other American Horror Stories because I just finished American Horror Story NYC. So I haven't seen him in any of the other ones yet.
So.
Yeah, I don't think he's in any other one yet, but yeah. So essentially, that's what I did. My personal mission was to finish them all so I can talk about it.
Wow. Well, I mean, you are more than welcome to talk about Nico Greetham getting chopped up and murdered almost every episode that he's in American Horror Story. That was
right. I'm not gonna lie. The last one, his character deserved it. He was a dick. Like he was a dick, so he deserved it.
Wow, influencers.
Right? Influencers twerking on Santa, like watching a jumper. Like, come on, sir. Like, that's not, no.
That's not cool.
We're not.
Apparently, like, he got shot to death. Like, he was electrocuted.
Yeah. So basically, no. So basically, I'll give you the gory details. So first, he was clubbed, unconscious, like clubbed, like literally like a giant steak that looks like something from The Walking Dead. Clubbed, and then once he was clubbed, this guy decided to string Christmas lights all around him, okay, and then carry him out like he was a wrapped up Christmas tree, and then threw him in the pool with mistletoe in his mouth, and that's when he got electrocuted. And then once he was done being electrocuted, he got cut up and used as decoration on a Christmas tree.
Wow,
that's wild.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh wow. Well, I'm pretty sure that Christmas tree looked a whole lot better than what we're going to talk about next. So, hi guys, we're going to be talking about Boom Boonger.
Oh my God.
And that crappy looking thing that, that people are starting to quote unquote like because of reasons. What?
Shut up. Okay. I saw the trailer you showed me, and I kid you not, I'm like, what am I even looking at? Like, everything is so ugly. I don't even know where I'm supposed to focus.
Yeah.
Everything is so ugly. Like, no, it looks pretty bad. It looks bad.
Even the graphic, well, mind you, I could also just be the way the video stuff was uploaded. but the graphic was horrible. Like everything, like the Zors, like the suits, like I don't even know what's happening. Like there was just so much ugly in one trailer.
Yes. So listen, I don't. Well, if you've been on anybody's socials or anything like that, hell, we even posted it. We posted the first look of Bakuge Sentai Boon Boonjer, and so there was a whole thing. Let's backtrack for a second. Let's take a trip down memory lane, right? So a couple months ago, before the initial pictures came out, I want to say that was last year or something like that. Anyway, there's a guy who normally leaks all of the new Sentai hotness and stuff. He normally gets the scans out way in advance, but he kind of gives people like a little something to nibble on, just to kind of, get an idea of what the next Sentai is going to be, right? And allegedly, this is all alleged. Allegedly, he sent them out, certain people, probably his friends, and people got jealous. People got mad because they were like, "We want to see it too." And he's just like, "Man, you're not in my group." So people got upset, and apparently the pictures leaked. I guess the friend that he sent it to sent them to another friend who may have sent them to another friend. Who knows how it happens? That's normally how it happens, but whatever. Sent them to another person, and that person basically leaked the pictures and also put some stupid crap on the pictures too, right? But anyway, the suits were leaked way in advance, so we kind of got to see a grainy version of them. But then the official picture was leaked out a couple weeks later of the Boon Boonjers, which they only leaked out 3. They leaked, well, not leaked, but they presented us with 3. So basically, the core members of Boon Boonjer, I'm guessing, is red, blue, and pink. Orange and black will be introduced a little later. But we do know that Boon Boonjer is that the team colors consist of red, blue, pink, orange, and black. Now, allegedly, their 6th ranger is a purple one. Allegedly. Do not know that for sure. That's just word on the street. But as of right now, those are the 5 core rangers. So yeah, so those suits are out. Based on the stuff that I sent y'all, what do you guys think? Like, what is it giving? Do you like the suits but hate the helmets? Do you dislike everything altogether? Like,
I mean,
what do you think?
Where do we
all of it
start?
is ugly. I just
My thing is, how do you even they see out the helmet?
How do you what?
Like visually, how can they see out of the helmet?
Oh, that's a great question. That's yeah. Especially orange.
Yeah,
Orange, I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no way.
right.
Like that guy's blind.
Well, like even
they're blind.
Even the pink. Actually, all 3 of them, because like their eyes are not that far apart. All of them, really.
Well, at least I will say, like with blue, black, red, and pink, at least with them, they can kind of see through the grooves. So they can kind of see a little bit, right? Like, because there is a little bit more black, even though the rim is like kind of thick. They still can maybe see, they can't see straight, but they can see through the holes.
Which is so not helpful when you're trying to fight like bad guys. But
okay. Well, imagination, right? Imagination. Like they can probably see through it, but we can't see in, but they can see out. But stunt-wise, they can probably see through the black.
Oh my god. Okay, the Morpher looks like they're a toy.
Yeah, it looks like something from Ben 10.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought about when I saw it. I was like, that looks like the Ben 10 device.
And then like Their weapons kind of look like Nintendo Wii controller and stuff. Okay, like, can you explain how people are starting to like it?
So honestly, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I think people only like it because it's Sentai, and we all know how Toku fans can be sometimes. Where it's just like, oh well, they did it first, and whatever. Because okay, story time. I posted a status a couple days, maybe like a week ago, actually. I posted a status on status. What am I doing? I'm not on Facebook. On Twitter, I've tweeted on Twitter. Jesus Christmas. And basically, I asked the question, not trying to blow no smoke, because like it was legit a genuine question. And I'm basically asking, why is it that we're so quick to denounce anything Power Rangers do when they try to be original, especially with Cosmic Fury, right? With how automatically Toku fans, well, Sentai fans specifically, just went straight for the jugular and just was ripping apart Cosmic Fury, and they're still ripping apart Cosmic Fury. Meanwhile, Super Sentai comes out with this, and the first consensus was this thing looks ugly. But now all of a sudden, now that they come out with a trailer, now it's, oh, I think I'm starting to like it a little bit. Like I think I can get over the ugly ass helmets and the suits. Like, because actually I like the suits, but like the helmets are ugly, but I think I'm starting to get over it now. Like they look kind of cool. Now you're starting to justify it, but yet and still, y'all showed no love for Cosmic Fury whatsoever. So I'm literally trying to just ask a simple question. And the consensus that I got with one person from Twitter, my understanding, because like I kept trying to basically get to the root of the problem, which I noticed a lot of people, especially when having these conversations, a lot of people can't fully can't articulate certain things, and they can't answer the question directly. It has to be, I got to take all these different types of like avenues to get to the main point. But what I'm understanding, at least from that person's point of view, is that Super Sentai is they do it first. They're the creators of it. So they have a lot more creative liberty than Power Rangers, because Power Rangers normally are the ones who are adapting Super Sentai. So they don't have, like, every time Power Rangers has tried to create something brand new, a lot of times people didn't like it for whatever reason, right? I can somewhat agree with that sentiment, because I'm not going to hold you. The 2017 movie, the Zords were jank. Like, the Zords look fucking crazy. So I can agree with that. The Zords did look bad. Because they made no sense. The helmets did not look that great either. The suits, didn't mind them, personally. Personally, I didn't mind the design of the suits. People kept saying, oh, they look like Iron Man. I disagreed thoroughly. But, like, people think they look like Iron Man. I'm like, whatever. The point I'm making is that people think that when it comes to creating, when Power Rangers try to do something original, it doesn't look as good, right? And when Super Sentai does something, they have a lot more wins than misses. That's debatable, but for the most part, their costumes and designs are normally more light than Power Rangers when they try to do something a little different. So I guess my argument with this is, how come, once again, just like you just asked, why are y'all so enthusiastic about something that looks so fugly? But I'm going to take it there. Why are y'all so enthusiastic about something that looks so fugly? But when it comes to Power Rangers, it's like, is terrible, it's lame, it's awful, whatever, and there's no kind of grace given whatsoever. Like no kind of grace. That's the main argument that I have when it comes to this conversation. And unfortunately, I just never got an actual good answer. Other than Sentai, they just can do it because they did it first. That's not a good answer to me. Because just because you did something first, that doesn't mean it's always good. And countless times, just like with this situation, like I'm not gonna hold you. Zyuohger looked crazy. Zyuohger did not look good.
No.
Visually. Zenkaiger, it did not look good visually. Like we've seen several duds from this franchise, and yet and still you constantly give the show so much grace. Y'all sit there, you watch it, you say, "Oh, well, at least I can kind of deal with this. I can kind of skate past this a little bit." But when it comes to Power Rangers, it's like, "Oh crap, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Oh, fuck this show. This is terrible." And it's just like, where's the grace for Power Rangers? Because as far as I'm concerned, Cosmic Fury is pretty damn good. You may not like the suits. The suits may be a little bland. They're not ugly. They're just bland. To be truthfully honest, like I can deal with bland. Bland is just like, oh, it just leaves room to be desired. But it's not actively offending me. Boom Boonger is actively offending me. Like this shit is ugly. But y'all are like, oh my goodness. And I use this example all the time. Sentai can literally wrap spandex around a turd and fans will be like, damn, this is stupid. This looks crazy off the first look. And then after a trailer comes out, go, damn, that's one cool looking turd. What? Like, how do we get here? Like, why is there so much grace that can be given to Super Sentai, but when it comes to Power Rangers, there's no grace whatsoever? You know, and I don't expect y'all to be able to answer that, but that's always been the question that I always ask. Because looking at this, right? I know we were talking about the helmets and the suits. Granted, the suits, they're to me, right? The suits are just bland. They're just bland, which once again, not a bad thing. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna hold you. I kind of like the shoes. Like the boots are kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of cute. They can cut the wheels off because the wheels just look stupid. But like the wheels on the side of the boots, they look dumb. But the boots themselves actually are kind of cute. So I can kind of give y'all a little grace with the suit. That helmet, those helmets look absolutely god awful. Those helmets are terrible. Like, I mean, I'm not getting past that. They look terrible, right? The mecha looks bland as shit. Like, literally, you got this big ass trailer, like that is all white with stripes on it. Like that, it just looks. It looks terrible. It looks terrible. Like, and then you got the individual cars that look like just regular vans, and they attach themselves and become the arms. Like, okay. But other than that, like this is not giving. And it's just not. Like, look, like, y'all, these blasters, like I will say, at first, when I saw them, their little wheel blasters, at first when I saw them, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, what the fuck is this? But hey, I can honestly say that grew on me. I can honestly say that kind of grew on me because that is a different kind of like blaster. Because it's a wheel. Like they're holding it like a wheel, but it has a trigger on it. And you have to, like, I don't know how the fuck Blue is holding that thing and shooting it, but like it's interesting. I will give them that for creativity. That's kind of cool. I'll give them that. That's kind of cool. but yeah, they don't look good. And then also too, can I also bring this up as well? And I don't know if y'all can see this in these pictures, but I hope when the show comes out, I really hope that the stunt actors are wearing dancer belts. I hope they're wearing dancer belts because I'm so tired of, because in the promo material, I've seen way too many times those stuntmen wearing boxers, and you can see the boxers on their thighs. Like you can see the print of the boxers on their thighs.
That's not
Please
a
wear
big
dancer
deal.
belts. Just wear dancer belts. Like
You would think they
what?
would know to do that to look clean and
Right. And then it's white at that. Like you can see anything through white. Like like literally you can see every print through white. Like, and it's just like they literally are wearing boxers. Like you can see the print of the boxers through, like you can see the like the actual boxer line through the actual pants. It's like, come on, y'all. Like it's just not giving. Like, do y'all have anything else that y'all want to point out about this? Because it just looks bad. Like,
That's all I got to
yeah.
say. Is that it looks bad. I have nothing further to this conversation.
Yeah.
Ugly, bad. I hope the storyline will save up for it. So
I mean, apparently, like people do they think it's very interesting in terms of like, I guess what the storyline could be leading to. Because also too, there's not much to chew on in terms of what the show is about, which may be a good thing. It may be a good thing that they probably just didn't advertise much of like what the show is actually about. Plus the actual the was it the I guess it's like their conference. I think that's what it's called, like their conference. It hasn't come out yet. So the conference normally will kind of let you see who the actors are, kind of give a little bit more in depth of what the storyline is about, this, that, and the third. That hasn't come out yet. Basically, as we probably already know, the story is probably, as of right now, just a situation of, oh, aliens is coming to Earth. These random people now have to become boom boomers to stop them. That's how most of the time they always pan out anyway. But like as of right now, nothing official has come out yet. So yeah, like it's just, to me right now, it just looks really like there's nothing about this show that makes me go, oh my goodness, I need to see this. Like there's nothing about it right now. Like I'm literally catching up with King Older because I stopped watching it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like this season that's out right now, I literally stopped watching it because it's so bland. Like I lost interest in the show. So I'm just like, I guess. But this new one that's coming out, I don't even know if I want to watch that. I'm gonna give it a couple episodes. If it don't wow me, stop watching it. So that's what I did with Zenkaiger. Like I gave it 8 episodes. Literally, I gave it 8 episodes, and I was like, I think I'm done, and I threw it away. So I will do it to Boom Moonger too, because as of right now, the shit ugly, and I don't feel like watching nothing that is aesthetically like draining my life as I watch it. So, but Will, what were you gonna say?
I think that it's lame.
Nah.
From the suits to the mecha. Um, like I go back to the drawing board.
Go back to the
Like,
draw. Thank you. That's a good point.
the
Yes.
last couple of years, I have not liked the way that they look. Like they're trying to, maybe for like last 5 years, they're trying to be creative and different, which I get that, but at the same time, it's like they just don't look uniform enough.
Mm.
And they don't look like a badass team. This looks like a joke. The
I'm gonna tell you
mecha being
exactly.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm gonna tell you exactly what they look like to me. You know, like those like in the DMV when you go to the DMV and they have like the drive safely mascots on the TVs and they're like popping up
Yeah.
being like, hey, you should always wear your
Yeah.
seatbelt. That's what they look like.
Wow.
Like that's what they look like to me. They look like those little characters that you'll see on the TV in the DMVs being like, hey guys, make sure you don't drink and drive. Like they look stupid. But I'm sorry, go
Well,
ahead. I totally cut you off.
and I'm sorry, and them going back to vehicles, like, ugh. I'm not one to. I never had an issue when they did vehicles for the Mecca, but I guess the fact that they're doing it so often, it seems, and these they don't look good. They look like toys. Like if what's on the screen looks like toys, can you imagine how bad the actual toys are gonna look? The only one that I kind of like the blue and pink SU or trucks SUVs. They looked okay, but everything else bad. Um, the only thing that I liked from the trailer really was when they showed the Mecca. They were all like driving through. I don't even know how to describe it. It reminded me of whenever we had the Mecca battles in Dom Brothers, whatever world or dimension they were in. That's what that looked
Mm-hmm.
like. So I liked the special effects. I liked all the colors of that.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean it's giving race car because I mean that's the theme of the suits, right? So the theme of the suits is giving real like race car drivers, that kind of feel, which I'm like, okay, A for effort. And I've seen one person comment and say, well, it's very retro. It's very retro. It's very, it's almost kind of like throwing like a throwback akin to the old Super Sentai suits back in the day. And I'm like, how far do you want to go? Because I'm sorry, but if you're talking about Go Ranger, that looked terrible. If you're talking about Battle Fever J, they look crazy. If you're talking about Dingy Man, yeah, they look a little uniform, but still, they still look kind of crazy. You're talking about what back in the day are you talking about? Like, how far do you want to go? In terms of being retro. The suits don't look like if you want to say, oh, they look retro, they look that's the thing that they're going for, that's the feel they're going for. Okay, cool. But you can still go retro and still look like something.
Good, yeah.
You can still look good. This does not look good. This is like I said, I'm being extremely nice about these suits. They look bland. I'm being very nice. Like I could really I noticed this is the theme for me today. I'm being very nice. But like this but they just look so bland. Like I don't know how else to say it. Like they look bland. And I guess, bland for one team is okay, but bland for another team is bad. Listen, whatever. Like that type of I'm gonna like one thing and I'm not gonna like this thing over here. That argument, people are gonna come up with all types of bull or whatever to excuse their reasoning for liking something and disliking something else. All that stuff basically is opinion, right? Everybody has an opinion, and like assholes, they all stink, right? Unless you douche. However, the point of the the point of the matter is
I cannot. Yo, we got some comments like these. I need to make sure our episodes are 18 plus.
Oh shit, go on.
18 plus, Brandon. I can't put it more than
but thinking is that when with my opinion on this, like I just feel like personally, I like these suits. They're just not hitting on anything. Like I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of any of Boom Boomger so far. From what we've seen, I'm kind of like, it doesn't look good. Like it just does not look good. Like this right here, and like you said earlier, Will, the whole thing of them just going back and like trying to be different and doing all these making all these bold and brand new choices and not sticking to the status quo of what they used to do. I'm like, go back to what you used to do because that worked. Like that worked because not King, what's that season? Cure Major. Cure Major was the last season that actually fit the status quo and it actually looked good fitting the status quo. Like it was the last one. And now it's like every season you get, they're trying to do something daring and new and spontaneous and different. And it's like, like what are we doing? Like this looks crazy. And like, don't get me wrong, King Oger, pretty okay. I'm like, okay, King Oger looks okay. Don Brothers, okay. Like they had a lot of elements that they introduced that I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. The suits, okay. I wasn't a fan of the CGI with pink and black, but they were okay. But now this whole, I don't know what to say. Boom Boomger just looks like y'all literally said, hey, we're going to ask a kid to to create a Sentai for us. And, whatever they draw in their heads based off of the idea we give them, that's what we're going to do. And this kid literally drew a stick figure with a star on their face and said, that's a tire, and drew some lips underneath it and said, hey, that's the head. And they were like, bet, sold, we're doing this. And that's how we got Boom Boom. Like, it just looks silly. Like, it looks like something straight up for a kid's imagination.
It looks like Boo Boo.
It looks like Boo Boo. It looks like Boo Boo. Like, I'm like, this just, no, it's not it. This ain't it.
Well, I guess we'll see how they do with actors and story and what else is there to possibly look forward to? I guess we'll see how the ratings do and how the toys do to see if this was a success or not.
Yeah, I mean, for right now, I mean, people are hyped. Like well, of course, the fans are always going to be hyped because they're hyped about everything Sentai. But that is shade. I am being shady. I'm not even going to say no shade. Yeah, I'm being shady. But as of right now, with their Ben 10 morphers, people are hyped. People are hyped for it. So I guess maybe people will like it and be like, okay, cool, it's great. King Oger, as of right now, from my understanding, it's doing well. Not as well as from what I've heard. Like it's doing okay numbers wise. Like it's doing okay. So I'm guessing maybe Boom Boomger might be that, because I will say this. Japanese children love wild and silly. That is one thing that is true. They love wild and silly. So honestly, Boom Boomger might actually do well. Despite looking like straight up trash, this show might do well. It might actually do well. And that kind of scares me because if it does well, the next Sentai that will come out will probably look just as bad or worse. So I'm like, I'm kind of nervous about that. I'm hoping and praying that it doesn't. But that's kind of the consensus. Like they have their wild and wacky, and just to kind of like stir the pot up a little bit. And then that next one is going to be like the make or break, right? Because they did that for Power Rangers Turbo, which was Car Ranger. Car Ranger was their Wild and Wacky, and then after that came Mega Ranger, right? And then what was it? Go Onger was the other Wild and Wacky car series. And right after that came Shinkenger, which was a fan fave. Like, everybody loves Shinkenger, even though Power Ranger Samurai was absolutely god awful. And that it was just bad because just the acting in the show was just bad. But the suits, we all love the suits, right? The suits just look chef's kiss. They look amazing. So normally what likes to happen a lot of times is they'll do their Wild and Wacky, and then they'll come out afterwards with something that looks really good, and the story is like really meaty and stuff like that. So we'll see, kind of what happens. But I'm honestly looking forward to 2025. Like 2024, I'm like, girl, skip this. Like, I don't even want to see Boom Boonger. Like, I know this mess is gonna be crazy. And plus, what the hell is Pink doing? Is Pink like a B girl? Like, is she like a break dancer or something? Like, because what's this pose that she got going on? Like, the homegirl look like she about to like spin on her back or some shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like girl, the fuck? Like, you look crazy. And like, she seemed like she like maybe like she a little ditzy, a little off or something. I don't know. Like, on this trailer, Red is spinning her around and she twirling around like a freaking like one of those little like fairy toy dancers or whatever. Like,
I mean,
what the fuck are you doing?
That could be her move. She could be like one of those blade blaze. You rip it.
Right.
Okay, wow.
No, for real. Like, she just looked crazy. And like, but I will say, in one of the trailers, she was holding the weapon upside down. I thought that was comically genius. I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of genius. Because technically, in sword mode, I can see you actually holding that thing upside down and hitting somebody with it, which she actually does. So I'm like, you know what? I kind of see y'all. I kind of see you. Kind of see y'all. Like, I can kind of go with this a little bit, but still, this shit looks ugly. So I'm just like, we'll see what happens, right? But yeah. So hopefully, maybe. Well, apparently, from what I've heard, the conference should be coming up pretty soon because King Oger is almost over, and Boom Boonger comes out. Let me see. Boom Boonger comes out on the 3rd, March 3rd. So they got 2 more weeks starting from today, the 11th. So they got 2 more weeks. So yeah, like, we should be expecting that conference really soon. So Boom Boonger will be coming in. Do y'all want to talk about the conference? Like the trailer from the conference? Because maybe they might have some more interesting stuff in there, maybe.
Sure.
I don't mind.
It can't hurt.
I mean, it does hurt looking at it, but
I mean,
I get like a lot of gas just looking at like just looking at these pictures and those 2 trailers. Like, yeah, like, my stomach hurts just looking at it. It looks really bad. But yeah, so yeah, let's plan to look at that and also kind of see exactly what the new show is giving, right? But let's talk about what is actually given and what actually was really good, right? We're gonna talk about cosmic fury, moving in outer space, to save the human race, moving Power Rangers, cosmic fury. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that, right? Y'all like my rendition? Y'all like that? That was good, right? Right? No? What? Wow, like, y'all just got mad quiet on me. I don't like that. Like, haters. Anyway, so fuck y'all. But anywho, so Power Rangers Comic Fury, we're talking about episode 3. So basically, these mugs are, now mind you, we are covering this during Black History Month. So I just want to make y'all aware before we start. We are talking about this during Black History Month. All right. So we are opening to Javi trying to strum his guitar. And Javi is having the hardest time ever, right? And trying to get used to his brand new arm and everything. And he's just like, oh man, like this is so frustrating. And you also have Billy in the background talking about how he lost his powers, but gained Ninja Wolf powers. Y'all, I did not think they were going to touch that when I first saw this show.
I didn't either, yeah.
I didn't think they were going to bring that up. I was like, oh, they actually said the thing. Like they actually brought they actually brought it up. That, you know, he lost his powers and he got ninja powers. Like, you know, they actually brought it up. And then also, of course, he's been piloting the Blue Wolf for like, you know, since they had those brand new Zords, he's been piloting the Wolf one. So I thought that was like a really nice touch for them to actually talk about that part with him, you know, losing his powers but getting the Wolf Ninja powers. But then Billy has an idea. Light bulb goes off in his head.
Oh, wait. Remember Solon, she was saying, oh wow, you went from a dinosaur to a wolf. That's a downgrade.
Yes. No, she did make that joke. I actually was gonna mention that. So first of all, not Solon being shady. Because
you know what? Solon
don't do
shade,
that.
okay? Solon got shade. She got shade and she's gonna give it, okay? I enjoy that. I'm here for
Listen, don't come for the wolf powers. Don't come for the ninja powers because ninja powers was cute. Like don't do that. Like,
well, we know Solon's older than those ninja powers. We don't know that.
Oh yes, she is.
Well, is she?
She's over 65 million years old.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. She is. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because I'm trying to think about Ninjor because I know Ninjor was locked away for like several thousands of years and all that crap too. But no, million beats thousands for sure. So yeah, you're right. She is older.
So she can throw shade, okay?
She can, but don't listen. Don't do them, okay? Don't do the ninja powers because the ninja powers was cute. Okay, the mugs and you know they had Ku Klux Klan ninja. They had, you know, like listen, they did their thing. Okay, they did their thing. But what I will say is, I did think that was pretty funny with Solon throwing shade at Billy in the background. Like those powers wasn't all that. Like dinosaur powers are actually much cooler, which they are when you really think about it. Like every time you turn around, what happens? Dinosaurs. How many dinosaurs have we had in comparison to actual full animal powers and not just animals combined with vehicles or animals combined with whatever, like just straight animal powers? How many of them have we had in comparison to dinosaurs? Not many. So yeah, she's kind of right.
Wait, I would say it was equal.
Really?
Yeah. At this point.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
The Aquatar Rangers, season 3 Rangers, Ninja Steel, Ninja Storm, and then what? Mighty Morphin.
I don't count Ninja Storm though.
No,
like no, because there's a kind of like a hybrid.
Like
what? They're animals because like their animals are like hybrids, right? Oh no, you're not. They were based on. You're right. You got a point. Because I'm thinking of like how their Zords are created, but they're holograms of actual real vehicles.
And
then, you're right.
Dinosaurs was the Mighty Morphin, Dino Charge, Dino Thunder, and Dino Fury. So 4 and 4. I think that's
okay. Well, or you know what? You might be right. Actually, there might be more actual animals because remember Zyuohger too. Zyuohger never came out, but Zyuohger too. Zyuohger is more. So that would actually be more animals than dinosaurs. Oh, okay. Well, actually, Solon, shut your mouth. Uh-oh.
No.
Sorry. Oops. But I
So,
guess in this world, Power Rangers are the only one that matters. So it's neck and neck, right? I guess, right? But but so you got her throwing shade or whatever. Then Billy gets an idea to get their powers back. And he's like, I'm gonna go and investigate this because Billy that brain is thinking now.
I mean,
Amelia,
real
go
quick.
ahead.
I know I didn't really get to pipe up last episode, but I really don't understand why Billy's really here. Like, I don't feel like he's really been helping.
I think Billy, at this point, like, I think this is his moment. Like, this is his moment for being there. Because you're right.
Yeah.
He didn't really serve a purpose.
Yeah. Like, if I'm being honest, like, I feel like his whole position, his whole, like, presence, it could have been written off to anybody else. Like, I
agree.
And like, and then obviously to add to, like, with Mickey, like, or Mickey is unfortunately such a waste of a character. He has so much potential and they give him nothing.
Yeah.
I was listening to the last episode when I was editing it, and I didn't pipe up then because, like, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking then. But yeah, both of those two characters literally bring nothing to this season. It's nice to see familiar faces.
I mean,
but
except for the fact that he created the damn powers for them.
But that's the point I was gonna make. Like, this is his defining moment. His main reason for being there, is him creating the powers. But other than that,
that's it. And that's what I was just like. I don't like for him to be like in the like. Don't get me wrong. David Yost can take all the credits he wants, but I think I was under the impression when he was part of the credits, like the opening, that he'd be much more involved. And he's not, like, it would have been fine if he was like guest, like he was a guest star or whatever. I would have been fine with that. But like
if he just popped in for an episode and then was just like, all right, I'm out, gave them like the cosmic powers and then dipped.
Yes, exactly. See, like, and leading up to what you're about to say, like, this whole moment is what he lives for, and that was fine. It was fine for him to make an appearance. I was just very disappointed overall, like, with his whole position in this series, this season, like, with him being back, I thought he would bring so much more. I thought more was gonna come out of it, right? But all he did was what he did in, like, the last, the last season he was on before he left for good, where he was just here or there, but not really there kind of thing. He just kept going off into the background, being like, okay, let me go do this. Let me go do that to help. Let me, or like, no, I can't help you. Unfortunately, like that's not going to work out or whatever. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say. I just felt like the actor himself deserves so much more, and like his character deserves so much more. And I just felt like they didn't utilize that for this season. And it was just so unfortunate, other than what you're about to say.
I mean, yes. Like, my thing is, just in general, like, and that's kind of like why I don't care for. Not that I don't. Let me not say that I don't. I do care for Billy in this show, right? Like, because yes, Billy is there. Obviously, it's like we got David Yost back. Use David Yost as much as you want. I love Billy. I mean, I love David Yost. I love Billy. Like, yes, use him as much as you want. But I feel like more could have been done with him to actually make his presence worth being there. Because like you said, anybody could have done what he's doing in this show so far. Like, anybody could have done it. And
heck, Solon could have done it.
Right. To be truthfully honest, no, for real. Like, to be truthfully honest, even Solon could have literally done it. Like, even though she was like, "Oh, I'm not smart enough," blah 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 blah.
We know she's smart. She's just too humble to admit it.
Or the show just wrote her that way because they're just like, we want Billy to be the smart one to create this, whatever.
Because we know Solon has so much knowledge, but
we know Solon is actually smart.
Yeah,
so it's like, right. So I'm like, I think that they specifically wanted Billy there so that he could create the Cosmic Fury powers, which I'm like,
It's
okay,
fine.
cool,
Yeah,
which is fine, right?
We love that.
But
We want that.
we want that, right?
That gives us like oldies, like as old far as like such a big like circle of life, like such a turnaround, like look at this, like someone you've been watching since you were like freaking 3 is coming back how many years later? Like that is freaking awesome. And we
Right.
like,
And yeah.
we
And the thing is, it's like there's been so many so much fan stuff in our heads, right? Where we all were like, Billy created the turbo powers. Like that has been a fan, like, fan fiction stuff that has been going in our heads for years. Like ever since we heard that alleged truth that nobody can seem to actually say if it's true or not, where originally the reason why Billy kept disappearing was because he was creating the turbo powers. Like that was this, this fan thing that was going around for years, like on all the threads. Like Billy is the one who created the turbo powers. And, that's why in the movie they kind of like switched it around and all this stuff like that, because, Billy was allegedly supposed to be the one who created the turbo powers, but then David Yost decided to leave. Whatever the situation is, like, that has always been like the topic of conversation, Billy creating powers. So the fact that they actually did it this time around with the Cosmic Fury powers does feel like it came around full circle, that he actually did get to actually create something, right? My only thing with this is that I just wish that they actually did something a little more meatier with his character, instead of just trying to make him just, oh, I'm just here for support and moral support, but also I'm here just to literally make the Cosmic Fury powers for you. That's basically his reason for being there. And I'm like, honestly, I would have loved if he actually had a real actual reason to be there, like actually give Billy an ulterior motive, like an actual point. Like, no, I'm not just here for this, but I'm actually also here for this too. You know what I'm saying? And actually give him a plot and a point for being there. Because as of right now, and just in general during the show itself, Billy was literally just a body. Like you said, Lena, anyone could have been him. Like they could have invited back any Mighty Morphin Power Ranger and they could have been him. Any one of them could have. So, or hell, any other ranger actor that they wanted to invite back. Anybody could have been Billy. They could have invited any smart character back. They could have invited back Ethan. He could have been, he could have played that character. They could have invited back Shelby. Shelby could have been that character. Well, I mean, Camille ain't coming back, but you know what I'm saying? Like they could have invited back anybody. Is my point.
Like they could have been literally anybody, or it could have been nobody else. They could have figured it out themselves. Like,
right. And honestly, that probably would have been a little more interesting. But
yeah. Bottom line is like,
are any of them smart enough to do that?
Excuse you? Yes.
Well, I mean, no. Now that I think about it, no. Ain't nobody that smart.
That would have been totally out of character.
I mean, you know what? I mean,
so maybe Ollie. Now that I think about it, maybe Ollie. But
then
it's like
I was gonna say Ollie and his mom, or what's his face? What's his name again? The one that lost the arm. I could see his face.
Javi.
Who lost his
Javi? No. Hear me out. He has the knowledge from being blasted with his arm being blown off. Like, that weird, like, surge that went through his body.
And that just all of a sudden made him a genius?
I mean, you never know. Side effects.
Girl, no. Girl, absolutely not. No.
But bottom line is like they could have at some point figured it out, and it would have been a good plot twist.
Yeah, like I agree. That would have been interesting. That would have been interesting for them to actually figure it out for themselves, or actually Like, you know, like actually go on the mission to actually be like, hey, this is, you know, this is how we acquired it, or this is what happened, kind of a thing. I agree. I do agree. And I wish that would have happened, but instead, you know, but hey, you know, we got, but you know, they should have done a little something else with Billy too, because I'm not gonna hold you. If they would have had Billy actually be out there and actually had like the reason why he went to space and like gave him like an actual reason as to why he was there and he was looking for something, not Zordon, but he was looking for something and was like, you know, and that thing actually was the thing that was actually integral to the plot in terms of like it could shift the sides of either good and evil. You know what I'm saying? Like, see who could win, you know, that kind of situation. That actually would have been cool, you know? But I guess because it's like, well, we don't really have time since the show is only a few episodes and blah, blah, blah. Maybe that's what it was, right? But at the end of the day, Billy was just kind of just there. And he's just, this was his defining moment. So, you know, he decides he's going to go ahead and try to get their powers back because obviously they need them. Amelia is like, I want to check in on Earth. I want to see what's going on. I need to see what's going down. So she has the idea to get the antenna that Zato used to send the messages to Ravcon, right?
I like that.
Which I was like, ooh, that's a good throwback. That's good. I like that. Like, that was cool. That was cool. That was a cool throwback. And Ion is flipping the fuck out. Ion is like, y'all gonna get tired, right? Y'all gonna get tired of ignoring this man. He is like, listen, where is my man? Y'all literally are talking about other things, and I need y'all to be concentrating on finding Zato. My boo is in space. Find him, okay? Like, Ion is over here losing his shit, right? And meanwhile, Billy is trying to find junk through Solon's, you know, through her pantries and shit, trying to figure out what the fuck he can use to, I guess, build whatever he needs to build. So I'm like, I did like this scene because it felt very lively. Like the room, it just didn't feel very stagnant where you're just concentrating on one person talking. I love scenes like that where there's a lot going on. Like you have Billy in the background looking for stuff to try to like build their morphers and stuff. And then you have Ion and Amelia talking with Solon, and Ion is over there flipping out. And it's just like, there's a lot going on. Love that. They executed that very well. But this is the part that gets me, y'all. Ion is flipping out, and what does Amelia do? What does Amelia do? Will, what does Amelia do?
She suggests that he does something to get all the frustration off of his mind.
But specifically, what did she tell him to do?
He should cook.
Should go cook. You tell the black man.
Oh God!
To go cook.
She's telling the cook of the team, the person that has the skill.
The cook.
I was just
about to say, Ion to the cook.
No, I agree with Will.
He's not black. He's not African American. He's an alien that has dark skin.
Exactly.
That is black. With kinky hair.
I agree with Will. He is the cook. He de-stresses him. And yeah, that's just been his thing. Remember, he has Ion's cafe or whatever, and he keeps going on about his cafe. So really, Amelia didn't ask him to do anything he already did not want to do.
But he didn't want to do that in that instance. She told him basically to shut his ass up. She was like, "Go cook something." That's what I got from that scene.
I mean, to be fair,
I saw the first example. I think possibly the first example where we see her taking that leadership role, like just naturally and encouraging her team members.
That wasn't very encouraging in that moment. She was
Well,
just
you know,
like,
for
in that moment, it was
Down.
giving very
He is
much go cook
out of
something.
sorts.
maybe it was encouraging for Ion, like, cause he wasn't complaining.
Yeah, well, at that point, he just shut up and left.
Well, because he's like, you know what? The way I saw it was that he was stressing out, and she gave him a
A
direction.
suggestion.
Exactly.
She gave him an order.
A
Go
suggestion.
cook something. Go
Give
cook.
him a suggestion.
Now, what she gave that man an order. She said, "Go cook something and shut the fuck up." That's what she did.
No, see?
And
He
Ion
said-
said, "Okay," and he went and go sat his ass down.
Well, you
That's
know
what
what?
happened.
You know what? The man needed a suggestion, and he got a suggestion. Okay.
I was looking at her. Wait a minute. I should have just told this nigga to go I'm like, ooh, child. That part tickled me so much. I was like, ooh, child, like this is funny. And on Black History Month. But yeah, child. So
I mean,
meanwhile,
who did be cooking, and they do need to survive.
I mean, well, shit, they could cook. They could cook themselves. Like they don't got their little stimmy day.
You assuming
little...
they can.
You said what?
You assuming they can.
Yeah, right. I was just about to say that. You're assuming they know how to cook.
Well, shit. If they young adults by this point and they don't know how to at least
Brandon,
warm something in the microwave,
Brandon,
what they
Brandon,
doing?
first
What
of all,
they
they don't have a
doing?
microwave. And second of all, did you know that I set off the fire alarm boiling hot water the other day?
Oh, girl, like if you doing that, girl, take a class.
I'm in my 30s. Oh my God. So let me tell
take a
you,
class.
I can understand and I can relate that I would depend on my cook to cook for me too.
Oh, child, no. And he even named out the things that they had. They could have been eating nutmeg, sprinkles. There was stuff around there to eat.
I mean,
Like
half that stuff did not sound appetizing, but you know what? The man needs to prep food for his crew members, okay?
Listen, I'm just mad that they reduced that man to the cook. Like,
well, you know what?
what are we
fair? It was better than him like breaking down that he couldn't find what's his name again?
Zato?
Sato. I was about to call him
AKA his boo?
Yeah, like, you know, at least he's not stressing out about that. He's like, you know what, let me go cook then. Let me go ahead and do that.
Child,
but I'm not gonna lie, like this season, it was either him freaking out about Zato or him like just freaking out about his like cafe. Like it was one or the other. There was no in between.
This is true. He did a lot of freaking out. He was hysterical
like,
this season.
He just freaked out. Like
he was hysterical.
He was on, like his hormones were on high. Like, girl, I can relate because I'm you know, my hormones be on high sometimes too. So
like, damn, my guy, like shit, they are stressing you
know
out.
What? The way I saw it was sometimes when you're hysterical like that, you just need a suggestion, a direction, whatever you want to call it. And you know what? Amila gave that to him. She said, "Why don't you go do this?" And he said, "Okay, that sounds like a great idea."
He needed his man, is what he needed.
That's what he really did need it.
He needed his man.
His man was lost in space somewhere, okay?
Child. I'm like, ooh. He is stressed out, child. He is stressed.
That's what I mean. He ain't reduced to the cook. He just had to cook so he can de-stress.
Well, we'll see what happens later when it comes to his cooking, because I don't think that really helped. But
I mean,
so
it's a start.
Right. But no, so she told him to go cook something. Meanwhile, Hobby in the background still trying to work on that damn guitar. And he is over there like getting frustrated. Everybody frustrated right now. Like, Jesus.
You're stuck on the ship. You can't leave.
You can't leave.
Ending. Your mom and dad may or may not be okay. Your planet may or may not be there by the time you get there.
He's missing an arm.
Like, he's missing a whole ass arm. Like, girl.
It's a lot.
A lot.
It's a lot. And
there's a lot going on, okay? Like,
okay, and he is just
they even
really
have dogs or cats. Like, we don't know if they have a pets. Like, you know what? It's a whole lot, okay? We're out here just trying to survive.
Well, he is like, listen, I am tired. Okay, like I don't have my arm. I can't throw my guitar, so I can't even go to my happy place. Like, I'm just losing it. And child Solon is like, well, it'll get better. You know, you'll get adjusted. And he's like, listen, don't pity me, just help me.
And I like that.
And I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. Cause I'm like, we can, like, honestly, I'm guilty. I feel like we're all guilty of this, right? Where it's just like we see like disabled people and them trying to do things, or like people who just literally like, are going through something, and it's like, oh, like, should we help them? Should we not help them? And it's like sometimes they don't want to help, sometimes they want to do it on their own. But like also too, sometimes it's like nobody really actually tries to help them, or we just show pity. And they're like, well, we don't need to show them pity. Like, actually, they're people just like anybody else. So if they want to help, help them. If they don't, they don't. But we should never show people pity just because, they're disabled or whatever have you. So I
And of
actually
course,
really liked that in that moment.
yeah, and of course she didn't, she
And she
wasn't
didn't mean
trying
anything by it.
that, but it still was understandable his frustration because it's a lot going on. I enjoyed that. I do wish that there was still more of a like a journey for him with his grief and shock of losing his arm. Because it affects a lot. It affects him doing his passion, which is music. It affects just his day-to-day life. And I don't think that I mean, they didn't do enough with that. I don't think they did enough with that.
I mean, I will give them a little grace. I'll give them a little grace mainly because they didn't have the time. It was given real like we gotta hurry up and do this, kind of get this story rolling, and there's not much we can do because storyline wise, if they would have kept having him dwell on it for too long, like it's like okay, when like even if after they get the powers, the cosmic fury powers or whatever, and he's still kind of like in that mindset of oh my arm, my arm, my arm, which I mean makes sense, right? But how much further are we going to go with this before it's like all right, this is too much. You know what I'm saying? Especially in such a short period of time with the amount of episodes that they had, it did kind of seem like they were like, let's go ahead and kind of hurry and get through this, and not try to focus so hard on just, my arm, my arm, my arm. So I mean, I can definitely see where you're going with this and where you're coming from because I agree. But at the same time, I'm also like looking at the episode count is giving real. We got to hurry and get this out. Like have him go through what he's going through and then send him on his merry way. Like go ahead and fix the problem. Which with that understanding, I can kind of hold some space. I'm like, you know what? That's not bad. That's not too bad because at least it's following a trajectory of a story that can actually be told and be articulated well without it feeling like it could have lasted a little longer because I feel like if it lasted any longer, it would have become too tedious. With him just constantly.
I think they could have done like another episode of it and just spread it out well enough.
They could have. They could have. Honestly, I agree. They could have. They could have. But I don't know. I just feel like where they stopped it at was okay. I'm like, you know what? They gave him his moment and they let him go through it. And it didn't feel like at least for me, it didn't feel like they cut it short or did whatever. You know what I'm saying? It didn't really I didn't get that for me, at least for me. Like I felt like where they stopped it at was okay. It didn't need to go on any further. But I mean, to each his own. Like, I do agree with your opinion. Though. I actually do. I do agree. But yeah. So he's like, "Don't pity me. It is what it is. Like, I just need help." So Billy came over there and helped him like strum his guitar, and like Javi was grateful for it. He was like, "Yes, that's what I needed. Thank you." Um, Meanwhile, she finds the schematics to turn the base into a spaceship. And then, as she's looking through it, because her and Izzy are putting stuff away and all that good stuff, um, Fern jumps on Izzy for keeping Lord Sid a secret. And Izzy takes accountability, which I'm like, yes. That's just what I was telling y'all from the first episode. Mm-hmm. Why is it that Izzy feels like she constantly has to lie to this girl? She knows you're a ranger now. She knows. Like, you don't have to lie to her about this kind of stuff anymore. It is what it is. Like, hey, this shit is gonna get real. Like, this is happening.
And you know what the thing is? It's also giving, like, in a way, it's kind of making Izzy like play the more masculine role, where she feels like she needs to protect her and do all these things, but it's so not necessary and it's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's her vibe. Like, I feel like, yeah, it's just not her vibe. I don't see it that way. I don't know. It's just like, I always got this vibe that they would do more things together versus her being like, no, I'm trying to protect you. No, I'm trying to protect you. Like,
and I feel like that's for me too. Like, that's kind of where I'm coming from with it too, because it's like, I understand your girlfriend is now in space and she's with you guys. So I get that feeling of like, oh yeah, like I need to protect you and all this stuff like that. But my thing is, I'm like, girl, you ain't got no powers either. So what good are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, no shade. Like, you sitting here talking about, oh, I want to protect you. I want to protect you. What you gonna do? Like, the only thing you can do is bring out your sword. You can't use it.
I was gonna say the only thing she can do is be a human shield.
Right, like literally.
And then what you gonna do then? Nothing.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? That's my thing. I was just like, girl, like, you doing all this yin yang and all this stuff, talking about some, oh well, I'm trying to protect you, but it's like, girl, you can't do nothing. You ain't got no power, girl. Hush. But she's like, I'm really sorry, blah 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 blah. And they had a moment where they looked like they were about to kiss, and I'm like, kiss. Oh,
yeah.
It's like, damn it, Ion.
Yep.
Ion in the background with all them, making all that damn noise.
Oh, I guess. Well, yeah.
Like, Ion needed to, beat up some pots before he can cook something, get into the rhythm of things.
Okay.
It's like, shit, Ion.
And also, we already know it's the Power Ranger show. They're never gonna let them kiss.
I know. Well, I know, but even
unless
then, like, I'm still
Tommy, ain't gonna happen. I'm sorry.
But but then of course the Rangers, they go out there and they're like, they're about to go out, and of course Izzy tells Fern she has to stay back, and she's just like, okay, I guess, because Fern was out there. She was like, I want to join y'all, I want to help, and Izzy's like, no, you gotta stay and all this stuff. It's like, all right, girl, like, Izzy, you doing too much. But that was during the time where I was just kind of like, all right, Izzy, like, I don't like that. Like, you doing a little too much for me.
I kind of understand. I understood. She doesn't want her boo to get hurt.
I hear that, but you just as vulnerable. Like, what you gonna do? Like, that just go back to what I was saying earlier. Like, what you gonna do? Like, talking about some nobody can protect you. Girl, nobody can protect you either. You ain't got no power. Like, what you gonna do? Like, it just, I don't know. Like, that, like, I understood what she was trying to say, but at the same time, it's just giving real, like, girl, like, there's nothing you can do at this point. Like, you're powerless. You have no powers. All you have is your sword. That's it. Like, what you gonna do if something happens? You know, so it's just I don't know. Like, I felt like all of them. Now, if she would have said, now if she would have said in this instance, we don't have the ability to protect you, and if something were to happen, I can't help you because we don't have any powers. If she would have said that or articulated that point more, that I can understand. But the way that she was going about it was almost kind of seeming like, oh, you know, we don't have powers, so we can't protect, like, we don't have, like, we can't protect you, kind of thing. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, actually say the thing. You can't protect yourself either. Like, I wish she would have came at it from that way versus just trying to make it seem like, oh, it almost kind of made it seem like we're ex-Rangers, so we can defend ourselves. You can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of take that it was given. And I'm like, that's not the kind of approach, at least for me, if I were writing it or if I was like directing it, I wouldn't say it in that way. Because that's not technically the truth. Because even then it's like, okay, you know, you don't have powers either. And let's be honest, even without your powers, y'all aren't the best fighters. I mean, this literally proved it in this episode. Like, y'all are flailing away. Like, y'all can't fight. So it's like
You're just going
you're
in
all
on
at a disadvantage. Because that scuttle worm was giving them the business. So it's like, y'all really can't fight without your powers. So it's like, come on now. Just say, like, we can't protect you because we can't fight either. Like, that's the truth. But that's not how it was positioned. And I don't know, that just kind of irked me a little bit. But yeah, so she made Fern stay back, talking about some go clean up. I'm like, this dismissive nature that y'all got going on in this ship toxic as fuck. Like, you got Amelia over here telling Ion to go cook. You got Izzy over here talking about go clean. Like, I'm like, y'all gonna stop dismissing people. I don't like that. Like, I don't like it at all. But yeah, so after that, Fern stays on the ship and she's talking to Billy, and Billy basically is explaining what the Morphin Masters are. And he gave her this long, drawn out explanation of what they are, which was kind of cute because Billy was using his scientific knowledge and stuff like that, which we don't really hear Billy do often anymore. We don't really hear it. But in this instance, you know, he used his scientific language, and that confused the fuck out of Fern, which was like a nice little throwback to like the good old days where he used to confuse the fuck out of his team. Because poor Zach, Jason, and Kimberly, them three, they were always confused. Like, what the fuck is this man talking about? And Trini was always there just to explain it away. But this time, I guess Solon was his Trini, and he was able to explain away what he meant.
You know what?
So,
so cute if Min had actually made an appearance.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that.
Oh, I would have loved.
Like, I would have loved if Min was actually just there in general.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely thought she was giving me the season. Like, when I saw Billy was back, I'm like, oh my god, yes. No.
Yeah. If Min was actually there, it would have made more sense. Because at least with her, it was like, yeah, like, she's there, you know, and maybe she's smart enough to explain away Billy's techno speak, which would have been almost kind of like how her mother used to do, you know, like that would have been really cool.
Exactly what I thought. Exactly.
But of course, they used Solon in this instance, and Solon was like, oh, I got this. This is what the Morphin Masters are. And so, of course, homegirl was all like, oh. Like, Fern's expressions be cracking me up because she was just like, okay. Like, her expressions be cracking me up. But after that, like, Billy basically talks about reestablishing a link to the grid, much like how the Dino keys were used as a conduit to utilize power from the grid. So then he was like, he needed a molecular transducer or a device that converts energy from one form to another on a molecular level. So like Solon, of course, she's a whole hoarder and shit. She was like, hey, I got something in the bag. Like, hey, use that shit.
You better leave Solon alone. Like, that woman needs to collect her bajillion years worth of tokens, okay?
Okay, she was like, I got some shit.
Right? You never know when one day you'll need it.
Right. Like, one day you might need it. And today was that day, apparently, because, hey, they needed it. So the Rangers are putting up the antenna, and Ion is looking for food. He comes across an egg that hatches into a little baby scuttle worm, and that mug attacks his ass. First of all, how he know that thing ain't had no kind of alien disease or some shit? Like, he let the thing bite him and everything. I'm like,
are you talking about like that little worm looking thing?
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you, when people don't understand how I have a fear of bugs, that's literally what I picture when I see bugs. No matter what it is, that's what's gonna do to me.
That is gonna bite you?
Well, that's gonna jump out of nowhere and try to bite me, yes. And it's gonna morph into this ginormous thing. Absolutely, yes.
Oh my God, Lena.
Absolutely. When I saw this clip, I shit you not, I literally screen recorded it and I sent it to my sister because this girl always be seeing bugs while we're cleaning and doesn't tell me, and it makes me go in there and all she hears is the scream and then I hear a chuckle.
Oh, that's dirty.
Right? So I sent her that and she was like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, that scene explains exactly what I see when I see a goddamn bug. Okay? Nastiness, especially spiders. I do not care how cute spiders are and they're going to be house pets. No,
spiders are fucking weird. I do not like those things.
No, I do not agree with that. I do not care. I do not think insects should be pets. I do not think reptiles should be pets. But hey, that is just my opinion, okay?
I actually do like reptiles. I can do a little reptile. Not snakes. But
I was thinking of snakes. No. I can't
a little iguana.
Oh no. I can do iguana. Because they shed their skin and it's so gross and I'm like, oh.
No, have you seen that video of that snake shitting?
No, don't. Anyways, let's move on. I'm getting the heebie-jeebies.
Actually, I thought that the scuttle worm looked really well. The mutation of it looked really cool, and actually,
the actual monster form.
Yeah, it actually looked menacing. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, I will say it with it having all of that scuttle juice on it. I was just like, okay, that's kind of gross. Like, I'm like, why did it splat all over the? You said what?
Especially after what it did to Javi.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. Like the scuttle worm skeeting on Javi. I'm like, all right, bro. Like you ain't.
That's exactly what my notes say.
Not the scuttle worm busting nuts on Javi. No.
Gross.
That was so disgusting. But of course, it hatches, it attacks, and Amelia and Ion go fight it while Javi and Izzy fix the antenna. But then, of course, two of them can't fight that hoe. So Javi goes over there and he slaps the dog shit out that scuttle worm. Like he slapped that shit so hard it flew. I'm like, damn. Like he literally like bitch slapped that scuttle worm. I was like, yo.
He bitch slapped that scuttle worm the same way Santa Claus bitch slapped Nico's character in American Horror Story.
Oh,
like that.
Uh-oh. Then he slapped him that hard that he flew?
Oh yeah, he flew. Like he was twerking and he went boom. And I went, oh my God. I genuinely thought he killed him then and there, but turns out no. He just slapped him hard enough to like knock him to the ground.
Damn.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I would have probably slapped somebody too if they're unwarrantingly like twerking on me too. Like,
oh my God.
Don't be twerking on me. I ain't asked for that. Get away from me. But yeah, like he basically like slapped the shit out of the scuttle worm, and then so they're back on the base, and so they're trying to reestablish a link. And come to find out, they secure the link and find out. Well, they patch it through the buzz glass, and they're able to see Jane and Jay Borg basically telling the people what's going on and how the Earth is being taken over and the Rangers are losing. Then Colonel Shaw, they flipped the channel, and Colonel Shaw is giving a press conference, which we finally get to see Tula Blakely again in the newer seasons, because she was in Dino Fury previously, and now she's back in Cosmic Fury, you know, talking on TV. And she's giving a press conference in Coral Harbor, basically saying that there's a force field that is rendering the Zords useless. So they basically recognize the fact that even if they were to go back, if they were to try to pilot their Zords into the Earth's orbit, like their Zords would be rendered useless. So, you know, they're basically stuck at this point. So while all this is going on, Ion is still talking about food. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I do have a question. Because you know how What's Her Face made an appearance? I wonder what happened to the Beast Morpher team.
They're probably same thing. That's probably how they found out that their Zords are useless, because they're probably fighting, because they did basically say like the Ranger teams are failing, like they're losing. So Beast Morpher's team probably are losing.
Oh, right.
Didn't the entire team get kidnapped in Once and Always?
Probably.
So I don't think they doing too good over there.
I mean, listen, 9 times out of 10, Zoe probably did something to get their asses caught. So I'm just saying, like, Zoe probably did something. Anytime something happens to that team, I'm going to blame Zoe for it, because that just, like, she's always doing something stupid. So,
oh my God,
blame Zoe. But yeah, like, so while all this is happening, Ion is still talking about food. I'm like, like, I'm not gonna lie, when like on that scene, I did kind of sigh. I was like, all right, Ion, like, I get it, dude. Like, you trying to be useful, but at this point, this is getting real redundant. Like, because they're trying to get to the point, they're trying to get to the big point, right? They're trying to get to that big scene that he has with Amelia. I just wish that on that scene there was a little more connectivity. Because it just right now they just got Ion just flipping out and just losing his fucking head. And I'm just like, I get it, right? I get the frustration. I get all of that. Like, tensions are high and all of that. But I don't know. Like, I just feel like, damn, Ion. Like, every time I turn around, I'm just like, you just upset. Like, you just mad. Like, Ion is just mad as hell. And I'm just like, baby, somebody get that baby a drink. Like, they should, instead of looking for food, they should have been looking for some alcohol or something. Like, Solana ain't got no alcohol in the pantry, in the cabinet.
Oh, because she don't drink, remember?
No, she need to. Or they need to. Something. I'm like, they all old enough to drink.
They're not here trying to gird alcohol.
So they all old enough to drink, except for Izzy and her girlfriend. They need to be taking shots, because that baby needed a drink.
Are they old enough to drink? Because I know, like, we don't know.
Ion most certainly is.
Well, I understand. Yeah, definitely.
Right. I would think that not Javi. Well, yeah, I would think Javi.
Yeah. Javi and Amelia.
Should
I
be
think they're over 21.
Over 21, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're probably over 21. So, I mean, you know, like I said, the only ones that I wouldn't think they would be able to drink is Fern and Izzy. But the others, I'm like, y'all better be pouring it up in there. Shit, I'd be drunk. I'd be like, baby, like, this shit too stressful. Pour me a drink. Like,
yeah, they definitely, like, if this wasn't a kid's show, they
be
definitely
drinking.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, they are stressed. They are stressed the fuck out. And poor Ion, that baby is like, listen, like, I can't do nothing, because I just got Zato on my brain, and I'm just like, I'm doing the absolute most trying to get my shit together. So Amelia goes over there and she has her moment, and she basically, you know, tells him to focus on the hope, which honestly, I really like that. Now that scene, because I could tell all this stuff that they were doing, trying to lead up to that scene. I could tell like they were really trying to get to that one moment where she basically kind of like basically reassures him and tells him, "Hey, it's going to be okay," kind of moment, right? So I actually like that. I actually like that a lot. Personally, I actually did like that because this is the scene that I could tell they were trying to get to. Meanwhile, and I think I skipped the scene, but let's go back. Ali goes back and he visits his mom in Osaka. And, he comes in and he basically makes it seem like, oh, yeah, I got away from Zed, but everything's all good now. I just need to find my team because they disappeared. And of course, his mom is like, oh, well, my baby, all right. All right, cool. So what's tea? Like, what you need? So then she's like, well, we got a transmission from, I guess, your friend. I don't know who this man is, but we got a transmission from him. And, tell me what you make of this. So then you got Mick basically being like, hey, guys, I know the location of Zato. He's on the planet Levena. And I'm like, oh, boy. I'm like, damn it, Mick. Like, so they intercepted the transmission, which I'm like, anytime, like, I guess you're trying to, like, send out a message, obviously it's going to be intercepted, right? So my thing is, I'm like, why didn't you try to encode it? Why didn't you try to, be very discreet with your message? But nah, he was just like, hey guys, I'll tell you exactly where he is. And of course, Ali is like, well, thank you. Thank you for telling me. Now I'm gonna go ahead and send Lord Zed's minions over there to go and kill him. And of course, his mom is like, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh, thank you for everything. And he's like being all evil and menacing. Okay, y'all, in that moment, what did y'all think? Did y'all like that? Because I liked
laptop. He stole her damn laptop.
He really did, though. Like, he jacked his mama, too.
I guess she was in shock.
Like, he straight jacked her ass. I was like, not you stealing.
I honestly loved Ollie as being evil. Like,
yeah, he did a really good job.
Yeah, I was here for it.
Because he been evil the whole time. But nah, like, that shit was funny as hell. I'm so glad you brought that shit up because he definitely stole from her. I'm like, The way, if I would have been his mama, I'd have been like, if you don't get my laptop back, not you stealing from me. And they had the audacity to like look at her and smile and walk away. I was like, oh wow. Like, this is actually kind of funny, but actually menacing at the same time. Because I was like, oh, you did that.
Oh, I was saying because he nailed it. He was like, yep, I just straight up tricked you, jack from you, and now what are you gonna do? You know what, my ass, mom? Nope, because adios, I'm out of here.
Basically.
Oh my god.
I said, damn, okay, not you stealing, but okay. So he stole from his mama and then he dipped out. So then after that or whatever. What?
Sorry, I read something. I'm sorry.
Well, okay. I was like, what's going on with that?
People come
he stole from his mama, so now we back at the ranch. And of course, Amelia had her conversation with Ion. And then after that, the alarms go off. And apparently that same scuttle worm is heading towards the base. The Rangers are, of course, they're still powerless. They can't fight it. So, but they still decided to go out there and try to fight it anyway to defend the ship. So they get their asses kicked. The thing go to attack Ion, but it smells them. So it smells the food. So, he decides that he's going to turn into Emma from Megaforce. They all got the same damn names. Emma from Megaforce and become a BMX rider and starts riding on his bike a random bike that I'm like, where the hell did that come from? But he's pedaling on this random bike, and then he decides that he's gonna go ahead and throw the food that he cooked and let the scuttle and like kind of like trick the scuttle worm so that it won't come back to the base. My thing is, right, I have a question. Did they eat that food? Because I'd have been mad as hell if I didn't get my share of that food, and Ion took that food and he threw it to the scuttle worm. Now I'm back hungry.
Yes.
What the fuck we gonna do?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I don't think they ate that food.
I don't think they ate it either, and I'm
I mean,
actually kind of mad at that.
unless they got some more of the ingredients from outside.
Like, but even then, it kind of seemed like they didn't have much because the scuttle worm ate most of it. So I'm like, now wait a minute. Now, did you just kind of like put some off to the side before you started? You know what I'm saying? Before you started giving it
Hopefully.
away, like what did you do? Because if you would have gave that full pot, which it looked like that full pot to that scuttle worm, now it's like, bruh, what we gonna eat? Like, what we gonna do? So, of course, but of course, right before that, obviously, like the scuttle worm, like Javi was gonna go and punch it again, and that's when it had nutted on Javi and trapped him. But anyway, but then after that, Ollie is at Lord Zed's lair, and basically while he's trying to get his attention to show him mixed message, Squillia is basically with the other monsters, and they look like they're trying to do a TikTok video. Like, I'm just
Oh
like,
my
what the
God,
fuck
Zed
is
is
going on?
over it.
Zed was
That
so
was so
over it.
funny.
He was sitting there looking like, all right, y'all. Like, y'all pissing me off. Like, he was really sitting there looking like, the fuck is this? And they are just getting their life. Like, he's like, all right, this is ridiculous. So then, of course, Ollie has a plan. He has his plan to go and try to find Zato so that, they could go in and kill him. Well, Zed is screaming for Scrazzle. Go ahead.
It was so funny when they mentioned Zato. He was like, Zato, that's the red one, right? I hate that guy.
I don't like him. I hate him. It's like, oh, child, not you hate him. But I would have thought that he would have had more of a dislike for gold, not red. I mean, yeah, Zato did kind of thwart his plans too, but like, if it wasn't for Ion, he would have never been imprisoned in the in that crystal case with Morphin Master Green. Like, it was actually Ion's doing. So I would have thought that he would have had more hate for Ion, not Zato. But I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, fine. I'll let you have that. But he calls for Scrazzle. Scrazzle comes over. Scrazzle's like, all right, I've been working on this, and he opens the box, and of course it's glowing. So it's like, we already know it. Well, we know what that is, but at the time, no one knows, right? It's like, oh, what is in the box? So he's like, he's gonna use that or whatever, and then he's like, I need a team. Zed is like, take them mugs over there. I don't know why he just didn't give Ollie a team, like actually give him a team of actual fearful monsters. Why would you give these TikTok creators to Ollie? Like, Ollie needs some fearful monsters. Why would you give him this? Like, why would you give him them? Like, what? Like, I'm telling you, Lord Zed wanted Ollie to fail. Point blank, period. He wanted Ollie to fail. Because ain't no way you gonna tell me he was setting him up for greatness. Like, he was not setting Ollie up for success. There's no way. But anyway, so everybody's at the base. They're congratulating Ion for thinking on his feet and all that good stuff. And they make a joke about Ollie and his stomach because he can't process chili dogs. Like,
Rumbly
Listen,
tumbly.
listen. If chili dogs give that man, the bubble guts, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, not everybody can process the same thing. So listen, Javi getting the bubble guts, that's his business. And I don't think Izzy should have been spilling that man tea like that. I'm just saying. Like, leave his stomach out of this. But, Billy comes up, he's like, he basically unveils the new Cosmic Fury Morphers. And let's talk about this for a second, right? I don't hate the Morphers, to be honest. I genuinely don't hate them. I actually kind of like the fact that they're gauntlet style. I do like that.
Mm.
I just wish that they had a little more color. Because they are mad silver. Like, they are super silver. Like, I just wish they had. Right. No, like, and that's another thing too. They're so flat. Like they're very flat. I would have liked a little more dimension on the morphers. Kind of like because it looks like they were designed off the actual sabers that they have. So I would have liked for the sabers to actually be for like the dinosaur head to be very similar to the saber. Kind of have that same kind of look to it, because it's too flat. It's too flat. And it's sitting on top of the gauntlet. It's just so flat looking, and I'm like, I wish that could have been done a little bit better. But overall, I don't hate it. Like, what do you guys think? Like, do y'all like the Cosmic Three Morphers? Like, I think, did we ever talk about this?
I think we did when
I feel like we did.
I think when the toy came out.
Yes, that's what it was. We did talk about it.
I don't have any issue with it. I think that the show prop looks a lot better than the toy.
Oh, I mean, yes,
I like
absolutely.
the fact that we'll see later, it can also be used as a weapon.
Yeah,
so it's cool. I don't have any problems with it.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, okay, cool. I thought it was okay. But what really kind of got me was when their morphers, like their comms, basically like Bluetooth to the morphers and teleported on their wrist. And I'm just like, not they Bluetooth. Like, what? That kind of had me laughing a little bit in my head. I was like, all right, not the Bluetooth. But then Billy basically was like, he also had this other tall device that was hooked up to the Morphin Master staff, and he was able to basically manifest the morphin grid from the staff. And then, of course, the morphin grid is all over the ceiling, and everybody's like, oh, like they're at like a light show or the planetarium. And then all of a sudden, these balls come from the ceiling, and they all grab one, and they're called, they're like the Cosmic Fury Orbs, the Cosmic Orbs. And, Billy's like, go ahead, it's morphing time. While, Solon is like, these are going to be for Ollie and Zeta when they come back. So, they go ahead, they do their morph. What do y'all think about the morph? Like, do y'all like it? Like, do y'all like the mechanism of the morpher? Like, tell me what y'all think. Like, how do y'all feel?
I personally like it. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but every time they morph, Hunter has a little twist in her hip.
She does.
Oh yeah,
she does.
So cute. I love it. I really like the new morph. But yeah, sorry. Go on.
Yeah.
Now, are you talking about like the hand movements and all that, or are you talking about the actual sequence or all of it?
All of it, yeah, all of it. Because like me, yeah, all of it.
Yeah, don't have any issues with it at all. It's like I like the one that they had in Dino Fury. So it looks a lot like that. So I don't have any problems with it. I guess the only I remember with the Dino Fury one, it always looked funny when that was a lot of movement just to morph. But in particular, it always looked so funny when the two girls did it because for some reason they would like tilt their heads while doing it and just looked really funny. So like you don't really see that anymore. I don't think. So I like it. I like it. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I will say for me, like I, here's the thing for me. I don't like the balls. I don't like the little Call of Fury orbs. I don't like them. I
Really?
genuinely don't.
I
I
like them.
don't.
I think it's such a
I
different
don't like the
like
balls. I don't like them.
you don't like balls, Brandon?
And I do. I like the set. I like two of them. But like when it comes to that one little tiny one that came out their ceiling, I don't like that. Like genuinely, like I don't
You,
like it. I
you don't like
genuinely
that
wish they would have.
they're doing the whole hocus pocus and pull out a little ball. I don't think you
No,
feeling. But no,
no, I
I
don't
like
like
it.
it.
I like
I,
I like that it's different. For me, it's better than the sunglasses.
oh God, yes,
You know,
absolutely.
Oh
Like
like
yeah.
nothing would
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
be as
yeah.
or
terrible as
even
those damn
like even the
sunglasses.
cell phone, like the whole Motorola, like let's morph. Like
Mhm.
no,
Well,
like
not Motorola.
was it like Wild
But
Force? Like yeah, it was Wild Force. Like
but like I'm not gonna hold you. Like yes, okay, I agree with that for sure. But I'm not gonna hold you. I do actually like the like I said I like the morpher itself. Like the actual morpher itself I do like, but the I just don't like them putting the ball on top of the thing and then having to close it down. I don't like that. Like honestly, if they would have found like maybe if they would have like had the ball be a little bit bigger because I like big balls. If they would have had the ball be a little bit bigger,
but then it would be like too heavy to like throw in the air and do the whole spinny thingy with it and all that
they
jazz.
could switch up the choreography. They could switch it up. All I'm saying is if they would have had the balls be a little bit bigger and then shove it in the morpher's mouth, like I think that would have been kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, let the morpher eat some balls. And that would have been dope. But like you just slapping it on top of the thing, back of the neck, and closing down the hatch, it's just like, it's like I'm not I don't know. Like I don't. I feel like just in general, the mechanics of the morpher just it's not giving for me. Like the morpher looks cool, but that tiny little orb, it just I don't know. It didn't sell me. I think that if the orb looked a little bit different, like if it actually had a different kind of look and just wasn't like a little cylinder, like just a straight up just little ball, like a clear ball, nothing, just a random ball. That just to me just feels like this could have been better. Like that's all I'm saying. Like give it a little more a little something else. Not just this random little clear ball and then they just insert it on top of the morpher and close the hatch and then they throw their hips to the side and like it's like I don't know. I don't know. But the morph is cool though. I actually like the morph. I actually love the morph to be honest. Like so the morph kind of makes me mad because I hate those damn foam chests that they're wearing. I'm like, if they just would have had their shields on those bodysuits, and then they got their belts with the shield and the gauntlets and the boots, because they're already basically wearing the undergarment, like the actual suit, like they're already wearing it. So it's like, just we don't need the foam chest. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that. But I'm like, but I do like the morph. I do like the morph. I stand it. I actually love that because they're like doing a little back. They got their backflip game back, so I actually like that. I thought that was pretty cool. So then they do their morph. They're done. Then you get a little cosmic fury power, and then they're now showing off their new suits, new weapons. But of course, they have a little surprise. Amelia's like, this is a very dark pink. Well, my ankle hammer is, it's really something. I'm about to beat the dog shit out some bad guys. Oh, wait. Hold on. Why is this? Is this red? And come to find out, she is now the Red Ranger. So a little bit behind that, right?
So freaking awesome. Like, I absolutely love it. I think it's so iconic. And you know what? I'm here for it. Honestly, I'm truly here for it. Like, I love how humble she is too. Like the way she reacted was just like, you know what? It's gotta be the helmet. Like, like this can't be right. Like I absolutely freaking love it.
And what I really love the most too is the way she immediately was like, wait a minute, if I'm red,
right?
Does that mean that Zato is gone? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's like that realization. Oh my God, like you could see it. And everything about that moment was just perfect. Like they nailed it.
Yeah.
They nailed it.
I was like, oh damn. Okay. So yeah, I actually enjoyed that. And just a little bit about that scene too. So Hunter actually stated that when they were filming the scene, all the women came out of like who were working on set and who were like, working and stuff. They actually came out to actually see them film that scene. And were in full support of her doing it. And I know, like that's so
Russell,
cool.
Yeah, Russell said he was there too that day when they were filming that scene too.
Yeah.
Like that is so freaking cool. Like honestly, the moment I saw it, like I got my cat tattooed as like the red Cosmic Fury Ranger. Like I have it.
I loved like you said, she was immediately thinking about Zato. And then I like that that Billy, he reassured her that the morphing grid made that decision to change her to that color. And then Ion told her that Zato will be proud of her. And of course the siblings they're always going to support Amelia. So I like that everybody was supportive of her because they obviously could see that she felt really bad and probably unworthy of it.
Yeah.
She's been we're only a couple of episodes in, but she's really like showing that she has the chops to be a leader. We're going to see more of that as the season goes on.
Yeah. And I mean, it's very interesting because, what the one thing I really loved about that scene too is the fact that behind the scenes, Hunter was like, she did it first time and she was like, she really wanted to do it again. And she insisted so much that she started crying. It's like, you could tell that really meant a lot to her and it translated through on the scene. Like you could tell that there was a lot of care and a lot of emotion that went behind it. I thoroughly enjoyed that scene. That scene is probably one of my top favorite scenes in the show. In that season, it's just like the way it was executed and just the surprise that she had. Surprise. Like she was just like, surprise. Like she was like, oh my gosh, like
it's funny, like
crazy.
Oh, like just talking about it now, like I cried the day that it happened, like when I saw the episode, and just us talking about it again, like I'm crying again. Like it's such
no. Oh. No, because it's a beautiful scene. Like it really is a nice scene. And just the way that everybody was just so like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. Congratulations, And she's just soaking it all in and stuff. And also too, them without the helmets on, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of actually am okay with them. Like, I feel like it's when they put the helmets on that kind of like makes me go ill. But them without the helmets, I was like, they're not bad. Like they're not too bad. I mean, they're still bland, but they're not. I guess I can live with it. I guess. Oh, child, I'm starting to sound like the Sentai fans. But anyway, but yeah, so but nah, so on that scene, like, of course, they get a transmission from Mick basically being like, I don't know if y'all got my message or not. It seemed like y'all didn't. But just to let y'all know, Zeta is on Levina, and also Lord Zed and his people are coming too. So
I mean,
the rain,
he did tell everybody where Zeta was, like literally everybody.
right? Like you told every fucking body, but okay.
Oh, it's a party. Everyone's gonna show up.
Everybody's gonna show up.
Like,
But he's like, oh, they're on their way. And then of course the Rangers are like, we're ready to suit up and go. So, they're getting ready to go off and show off those Cosmic Fury powers. Meanwhile, Billy was actually told to stay back because, they wanted to try to figure out what was up with if Billy could help with the schematics for the spaceship, aka base. So,
and protection for uh oh my goodness. Oh my god. Oh my god. Fern, yes, Fern is so
yes.
in the base.
So yeah. So what do y'all think about this episode? Like, what was it give, man?
honestly, I love it. It was 5 out of 5 for me. It took me on an emotional roller coaster. It brought me back down, then it brought me high. I'm just like, I'm all over the place. For me, 5 out of 5, loved it. That scene is so iconic now. I don't care what anyone says.
Okay.
It was another really good one. Oh man, like the way that they're doing the characters with this season, I just appreciate it. I appreciate that there's just like more meat to it, more depth to it. Even compared to the second season of Dino Fury.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the stuff that we talked about with Amelia from her just trying to be there for her team, and then the instant just remorse with being Red because she's thinking about Zato, and then her team being like, no, this is what you deserve. You're Red for a reason, and we're going to like you're our leader now, and we're going to follow you, and we trust you. So I really like that. The new sense of urgency of getting uh the last part having to go and take on Zed and find Zato. Like we have a new sense of urgency for that, and also to get back to Earth since we know that Earth is in trouble. So it's just a lot going on, but I feel like the way that they are having everything play out is good. So I don't think it was perfect because, like I said before, I think it would have been cool if they would have played a little bit more to Javi reacting to the new cybernetic arm. Like maybe he wouldn't have even morphed or even went out to fight in this episode. I think that would have pressed up the score or bumped up the score for me. But I give it a 4.5. Like it was a really good episode.
Okay. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of with you there with the 4. I gave it a 4 as well. Just basically from not even not even a joke of Ion being reduced to the cook. No, like I'm not gonna. That's not the reason why I'm giving it the 4. But I give it the 4 just mainly from the. I enjoyed the urgency for sure. I most certainly enjoyed the urgency. One of the things that I enjoyed the most specifically was just how things was moving around. There was a lot of movement in this episode. Nobody was sitting down. Like everybody had their point. Like, it was giving real, we got to go here, we got to go here, we got to figure this out, we got to figure that out. It's like a lot of chaos. So there was no chance to breathe. Like this episode was very like, whew, whew, like you're tired. Like it's like everybody has something to do. So I definitely enjoyed that in this episode. One of the things that I guess I would say that the reason why I guess I give it a lower, like not even really a lower score, because I would also say a 4.5 as well. The only
just
thing
not a perfect.
Right. It's not a perfect, but for me, it's still one of the best episodes that we've seen in Power Rangers, because it's like no shade, but this is a lot better than what we've been getting. Like let's just keep it above. Like it's still miles away. But there are some things that I just would have tightened up. And mainly those things were coming from Billy. And that's the main reason why I give it a 4.5, is because Billy just seems like he's just kind of there. Like, and his only main point is to create their powers. That's it. And then right after that, he's back to being reduced back to just somebody like they're MacGuffin, basically. He's back to being, they're MacGyver. Like, because basically you might as well say he MacGyvered the fuck out those morphers. Because where the hell did he find that? Where did he find that stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did he find that?
Right? He locked himself in the lab for hours.
Even then, I would have liked to have seen the lab. I would like to have seen the lab.
I remember he used the red Morphin Master staff. Maybe that produced some of the materials.
I guess, but even then, I'm like, I want to see the junk. Show me the junk. You feel me? Like, I want to see everything. Like, because I just don't believe that y'all had enough scrap to like put all that together. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of shit, Solon. Girl, you got that much shit just lying around that Billy was able to create 6. No, excuse me. Yeah, no, 6. Yeah, 6 morphers.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention Ali and Zato's morphers are made and are waiting for them.
Yeah, because Solon was like, she was holding their balls for him. So like,
right.
So yes, so it's just like I feel it, but I'm just also like I don't know. Like for me, like it just wasn't that perfect. It wasn't that perfect episode, but it was still a good episode. So like I said, I give it a 4.5 too. Also, too, one thing that I also noticed as well, and I think that a lot of people don't really care for this, but because this was something that I did see a lot that came from some people, the branding, right? So they used the 1993 lightning bolt logo on the morpher. And it's like all over the suit, like it's branded. Like, so I think it's a perfect full circle moment. I actually love the idea, to be honest with you. I love it because it's literally dinosaurs all over again. It's a full circle moment. Billy, the first Mighty Morphin Power Ranger from the series, like the first Ranger that we've ever seen, created their powers. Like it's just giving real. It makes sense to give them the lightning bolt as their logo for Cosmic Fury. It just makes sense. It makes perfect sense. So like I like the fact that they have the lightning bolt on their suit, and also on their morpher. I like it. Not gonna lie, I actually stand it, and I think it's pretty cool. cool. Like, and plus, I feel like
Mhm.
that's also it's Billy's signature. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's his team's logo. So, I'm just like, oh, that's a nice touch. So whomever on the design team was like, use the MMPR logo. That was smart. That was smart. Because yeah, like I actually like that a lot. I just wish that they were able to actually create something that was a little more a lot less bland. Because that's really what it is. It's just bland. It's not inspired. It's just kind of like, oh, we're just kind of here with a vest and some gauntlets. But it's like they could stand to be a little. They could have a little more pattern, something, But hey, to each his own. But overall, tell us what you guys think about the episode. Tell us what you guys think about our opinion of the episode. We most certainly took a long, deep dive into a lot of information today. So, whatever you guys, if you're listening, please let us know what's up. Let us know what you think about the episode. Let us know what you think about the stuff we talked about. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry we didn't like Boom Boom, you guys. So don't rip us apart too badly, because I know some of y'all are like, y'all some haters. Listen, I hear that. And you're right. We are, well, at least for me, I am a hater. But like at the same time, listen, like not everybody's gonna like everything, and we don't like it. So it is what it is. And funny enough, a quick story. So I showed my coworkers because I just wanted to see what they thought as well. So one of my coworkers, he's a security guard at my job. And he's like, we always talk like just random stuff, like random pop culture stuff. And I brought up the subject of Power Rangers and Super Sentai to him, and he was like, I didn't even know that there was even a Japanese version of it. And I was like, yeah, that's where Power Rangers came from. So we had that whole conversation. And
that must have been fun.
Oh no, like having to break that down for him, and he was so lost. He was like, what? Like I could tell he was so lost. So I had to continue to make it even more simpler for him, because he was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? But so I had to show him some pictures and stuff. It was kind of funny. It was kind of cute. But he actually, I was showing him some of the newer suits. And because he loved the King Oldra suits. He thought those were dope. And I showed him Don Brothers, but the helmets. He was like, he liked the helmets, but he was like, the suits kind of look bland. But he was like, I like the helmets. But I was showing him everything, and he was like, oh, it's kind of cool. But when I showed him Boom Boonger, he was like, this shit is ugly. I was like, oh my goodness, you see it too? He's like, no, seriously, this shit is ugly. Wait, what? What is this? And I was like, yeah, it is pretty ugly, isn't it? He's like, no. This is bad. So I'm like, if a person who is not an active Power Ranger fan is sitting here and his first thought looking at it is like, this shit is ugly, I'm sorry, you fans are capping. Because there is no way that y'all can sit there, look at that, and say that that's cool. Y'all are capping. Y'all are capping your asses off. But anyway, enough about that. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. So, does anybody else have anything they want to add before we leave?
Nope.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. My name is Brandon.
My name is Lena.
My name is Will.
See y'all this time. Bye.
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 Oh,